channel, or if this is your first time here, my name is Melissa. Welcome, or Missa, hence Make Me Up Missa. Melissa or Missa, whatever you want. Welcome to my channel. Today, as you can see by the title, I'm going to be playing with my Plouise Worldie palette. Probably by the time this video goes up, I've had this for like 2 weeks and it never ever takes me that long to put a video out on a new palette, but to be honest, I just wasn't really feeling it. I mean, I like it, but I wasn't like, oh, I need to play with it. But today I sat down and filmed this look here, so this is what we're going to do. If you are new here, what I'm going to do is swatch the whole palette. Then I'm going to do this look here on my eyes and then give you my thoughts at the end of the video. I've played with this maybe 2 or 3 times prior to today, just in my own time. I used it once in a video. And did a really rubbish look, but that wasn't about the look. Anyway, so this is the packaging. I hate it. I absolutely hate it. I always hate Plouise palette packaging. It's just personal. If you love it, that is wonderful. I just personally don't. It's just too big. It's too bulky. And honestly, this is the heaviest palette I have in my collection. It is incredibly heavy. It's got like sand in the front. You know what though? Kudos for it being different to other palettes. And then you open it up. It's got a big mirror. One of those things that holds it open. And these are the shades here. Look at her. Gorgeous. I love all these pastel tones over here. And then these deeper ones. It's just a really well thought out palette in terms of dropping everything, blending out shades like dark green to light green, dark blue. You know what I mean? You can just blend out anything. There's only 3 metallics in this palette, a blue, a green and like a gold, like an old gold. The rest are mattes, big pans. You know, what else can I say? I think it's £42. I bought this off a sausage who accidentally ordered 2. So she sold it to me for £40, which was a little bit of a discount. And she threw in a Plouise paint base thing as well that I still need to play with, but it's pink, so I couldn't use it today. Honestly, one thing I want to say is when I opened this palette, I looked at it and I was like, why is there a random purple in it? It makes no sense. But then I dipped into this shade here today by accident, which is like a very dark, like aubergine reddish purpley brown. So it actually works super duper 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 well. So rude. What? With this matte purple, and that's how I was able to do quite a purpley look into the blue today. So yeah, I think it actually works really well, the random purple. Anyway, I think I should stop yammering and we will jump into the swatches. So just keep watching to see the rest of the video. You know, that would be rude not to. Do you know how much work I put into this? Hours and hours. Okay. Okay, here she is, a little bit closer up. You can't even see it all. Sorry, I'm too zoomed in so that I can get my arm swatches. I've used mine a few times, so it does look like a little bit banged up, but I mean, I think we're all used to that by now. So, as usual, if you are new here, I'm not going to have any primer on my arm or anything like that. I'm just going to swatch it once, see what it looks like, and then build it up a bit just so we can get a kind of idea of what the shade would look like once you really pack it on your eye. Again, as always, swatches don't mean anything. If this swatched really, really badly, it wouldn't matter because I've used it a few times and I really enjoy how it works. So swatches are just to see what the colour would look like on your eye. They're not an indication really of the quality of a palette at all. I've also decided overnight I'm going to depot this into a Z palette and use it that way because I absolutely hate how big the packaging is. It's just, it's whatever, it's fine. Clearly a lot of people do like the packaging and that's absolutely wonderful. So anyway, we're just gonna jump in. I'm gonna shut up so I can absolutely blast my tunes as we're doing this, and we'll see how it swatches.
Got drunk and ended up at your place. That kind of love is not easy to find, babe. I haven't felt that since you went away. Sitting here, I need to let you know. What if I had never let you go? summertime. And I don't really break too easily, but I'm worth it, 'cause I'll slip into your dreams tonight. Oh, so give me your all. I'll take it to Mars. Oh, I'll stick like glue inside your mind. Just watch me breaking your sweat. You're falling into me, touch me. I swear you would do anything that I want. So keep us awake till the dawn.
Overall, I feel like that's swatched pretty well. Some of the really light pastel-y ones, like these two here, would really need built up, and also this shimmery green. Like when you swatch it on your finger, it looks very, very intense and lovely and emerald, and then when you like swatch it on your hand, I feel like it kind of is a little lackluster, but it's not at the same time. I feel like it's just going to be like a wet brush packing that on would be the way to go, or then like once you've done your makeup, like patting over with your finger. I just feel like, yeah, it could maybe give a little, oh there's it kind of, but I pressed quite hard. But isn't that stunning, all the glittery reflex in it? And I have to swatch this gold one again. It's sick. Look at that. Might as well swatch the blue again. Why am I swatching this again? It's because I just love swatching shimmery shades. Anyway, I'm gonna piss off and we are gonna jump into me putting it on my eyes and see what you think then. Look at them. Oh, baby. Starting off, MAC Paint Pot is my base in the shade Soft Ochre. I know it and love it and trust it. So my brushes and actually the shade names will be on screen, but I'm using the shade Down Under first. I actually thought it was a brown looking at it in the palette, and that it was just by me swatching it that I realised it was much more of like a purpley red, and it is so beautiful. So I'm just putting that all the way around, and then I'm using just the same shade but on a fluffy brush to like puff it out, you know, fluff it around. I was really pleased to find that this shade was in the palette because it made the matte purple make a lot more sense. So I think I say that later on, I'm not sure. Honestly, I filmed this a couple of days ago. So I'm going in with First Class, which is the kind of random looking purple in the palette, and I'm just gonna blend this out. I think it works really well to blend it out actually, even though like this purple is quite cool and the first shade was quite warm. This scared me. I'm using Sky High, which is like the third lightest blue in the palette. I just wanted to try and keep like doing random colours together and seeing how I could do. And I think it does work really well, but because it's kind of a bright pastel-y shade, it is kind of covering up my previous blending, but that's not a problem. I always go back in and re-intensify everything once I've got my stuff on. And then I'm using Europe, which is the second lightest blue. It's a gorgeous shade, far too nice to be called Europe. So mean to Europe. There are nice beaches here and blue skies, but not really very many. Not that we're going to be part of Europe for much longer. Then I'm using the palette's namesake Worldie, which is the lightest blue, and just blending around that. It's so well thought out, like the blending shades. There is just a blending shade for everything else. It's fabulous. I'm taking the shade Lounge at the very front just because I wanted to use a heap of colours. This brush, I should have used a more dense brush. I had to dip into the pan quite a few times to build up the colours, you can probably see, but it does work really well, and I think, yeah, on a thicker, more dense brush, it would be perfection as an orangey yellow, but you know me, we all make mistakes. I'm going to go back through all the same shades now, so I'll probably just shut up and drink some water while we do it, and then we'll move on. I will say, having now swatched the palette, I would say they apply on the eye better than the swatches would suggest for quite a lot of the shades. I mean, it's swatched well, but I just feel like the way it goes on the eye, it's just very smooth, very blendable, very buttery, easy to use. I would say this mattes, for example, are 1,000 times better than the ones in my Beauty Bay Nikki palette. Oh, this is Skywalker from Kaleidos. It's a really stunning blue highlight, which is why I chose to use it under my brow. I just love putting a bold colour under there. I always think it looks really fun. Isn't that lovely? So now what I'm going to do is throw on my cut crease. I'm going to use my Makeup Revolution Ultimate Eye Base. I don't own any Plouise bases. Well, I do, I've got a pink one, but I didn't think that would be appropriate. So I'm going to throw that on, and we are going to cover it all in the shade When in Rome, which is the very lightest green. I didn't clean up underneath, which I should have done, but I was just being lazy. But you really do have to kind of layer this up and pack it on because it's such a bright pastel. But you can see it does go on pretty well. I'm not mad at it, it's more user error. I should have cleaned up, but I just can't be bothered. You know me. I'm just using a bit of my Too Faced black eyeliner just as a base for putting shadow along here. I wish I hadn't done this because it really transferred up because of my hooded eyes, but whatever. And then I'm just gonna like cover this up in the two purples that we've used, so Down Under and then First Class. Yeah, it's hard doing this kind of style on hooded eyes because it just does transfer. I do some blending off camera, by the way. I'm just kind of showing you how it all applies to begin with. I was very impressed actually by how it all blended. Very impressed. I'm using my eye base again and just doing this random little half moon at the side. I just wanted to add blue glitter, to be honest. I wanted to jazz it up somewhat. I felt like it wasn't really that interesting. So I'm gonna like fill this in with Europe, which we've used already, and then put an OPV glitter on top. Again, I just wanted to. Glitter is the way forward. Maria will agree with me. Most of my sausages will agree with me. We're all glitter obsessed, to be honest. This is in the shade Tease Me. I love these glitters. They used to be on Beauty Bay and now they're not, which sucks a lot. They're not very expensive either. I think they're £10. Anyway. Down below, I'm using Down Under. I'm just using all the same shades and I'm just packing them on. I'm not really like blending out the bottom of my eye look. I'm just kind of wanting chunks of colour under there. It was just the mood I was in. I have to say my eyes look really blue in this video, not green. And I'm using my LA Girl Electric Liner, but I'm going to go over the top with the shade Europe just so that it's very much the same tone as the palette. Great trick that Tia taught me and I still use it all the time. And on my inner corner I'm using my Soph highlight palette after I've cleaned up. Sorry, getting ahead of myself. I filmed this a few days ago, so I can't remember what order. Anyway, I'm using the Lilac shade from the Soph palette. I just chose to do that, no reason. And that's the eyes there. You can see, I do feel like that outer corner looks so weirdly patchy, like on both sides, but worse on the eye that I filmed. Anyway, I'm gonna go throw on my base, my lashes and all that, and then we will reconvene and I'll give you my thoughts on the Worldie palette. Okay, here we are done. I've obviously finished off the entirety of my makeup. I'll link like the most important things down below, really, right this second. Let me give you my thoughts on the palette. I actually haven't swatched it yet. I always swatch like once I finish, well usually once I finish, so I haven't swatched. So my thoughts on the palette are, I still really dislike the packaging, but that's not really that important. I think it is ugly, bulky, it's way too heavy, so much wastage of whatever it's made of, but that doesn't matter because it's what's on the inside that counts, and that's for everything in life, really. Cake, people, presents. I think the colour scheme of this palette is absolutely stunning. It really is beautiful. I can see quite a lot of looks in my mind's eye that I want to do. Like I want to do like real brown neutral with that lovely gold metallic. I want to do a green smoky eye, things like that. So I am really happy I've got it and played with it. And I think like the look today, although there is a couple of little issues just because of my hooded eyes, like the purple's transferring onto the green, but that's only because my eyes are so hooded. Like I've really got no issues with this palette, and that's just wonderful because I've been playing with a few new palettes recently and not loving them. This is great. A lot of kick up in the pants. They're very dusty. There you go, there's a con, but I can deal with that. I'm sure most of you can as well. It's just a little bit of a waste of product, but I'm pleased with it. And I think if you really like the colour scheme, you should totally go for it because it's good quality. Plouise eyeshadows kind of always are, to be honest. So that's my thoughts on this palette. I'm excited to go and swatch it now. What do you think of it? Are you going to buy it? Have you already bought it? What's your thoughts? I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do give it a big thumbs up. It really helps out my channel way more than you know. Leave me a comment down below, just like Tia did, asking for me to use this palette next, hence why I used it today. So I do read them and I do what you tell me to do. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. That would be very pleasant of you. And I will piss off, do my swatches, and I'm also going to film an updated eyeshadow palette favourites because it's about time. Anyway, I hope I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye!